name is Scylla, and today I am so happy because we are finally headed into my favorite time of the year. Best colors, best smell, best temperatures. Oh, almost, but not quite. As I'm filming this, despite it being nearly October, it's 100 degrees. But that's okay because I know that it's gonna pass soon, and that's what matters. But anyway, today I wanted to talk about costumes. And of course, Lolita. Not Lolita costumes that you would find, you know, on Amazon or Party City, but the idea of using your Lolita wardrobe as a sort of costume on the day of Halloween. I know this topic is a little bit overdone. Some people are all for it, and some people really do not like it at all. And I can totally understand that because, of course, as Lolitas, these are not costumes that we're wearing. That being said, I do personally make an exception on October 31st. So for the last 8 years or so, I have made a tradition of like the 5 days leading up to Halloween. I will dress up in a different outfit and I will watch a different spooky movie. Well, actually, I used to do the spooky movie like every day of the month. Fortunately, that no longer works anymore given my current schedule. But basically, there's 4 days leading up to the big kahuna. I have always loved Halloween, and in general, I just like holidays. I like any reason to be festive and dress up. But at the same time, I don't really want to be spending all this money on like costumes, like actual costumes and stuff. So I make do with what I have. Whatever I can pull together in my normal wardrobe is gonna work. I've done Barbie, I've done Daria, I've done Holly Golightly, I've been a bat fairy thingamabob. Just whatever I can throw together. But now that I have a Lolita wardrobe, it really kind of opens up this whole new world for putting together outfits for Halloween. And I personally feel like it would be a waste not to make use of them, especially since I'm trying to save money. So absolutely, I will use whatever I have, Lolita included. And as far as any strangers go, them seeing me dressed like that in a maybe more costume-ish way, if they assume that it's a costume, I don't care, because again, it's Halloween. Those who don't know, they're not gonna know, not gonna care. And those who do know, well, they're gonna know. So I think for the Halloween 2 years ago, I didn't even wear a costume. I just wore OTT Sweet for Halloween, and I went to a smoothie shop, and the cashier there recognized that I was a Lolita. She knew it wasn't a costume, and that was pretty nice. Again, not a big deal. Now, I do remember the first time that I wore Lolita out on Halloween. I remember feeling a little bit taboo. I was wearing Symphony of Birds because I had a bonnet, which was the look that I was going for, and I grabbed a big sheep plush because I wanted to be Little Bo Peep. Because on this day, if anyone asked, "Where are your sheep?" I could be like, "Right here, bitch." And I saw a lot of people that day because I was both acting as reception and also HR. And it acted as like a warehouse with multiple areas and like 2 sites. And we were holding a costume contest, so I had to go around, see all these people, view what they were wearing, take notes. Nobody called me out as being Lolita. They just thought, "There's Little Bo Peep," and I didn't mind it. And I do recognize that if I had started dressing like Lolita after this day, there would have been some questions, probably like, "Are you wearing a Halloween costume again?" But I had no plans for this. I had a very specific reception look wardrobe thing happening. So with that out of the way, I basically just wanted to shout out some Halloween Lolita ideas. Lolita is a very big part of this channel. Actually, originally I wanted to try and make as many outfits from my own wardrobe and see like how many themes I could come up with for Halloween, but I don't have time for that, so this is what I'm doing. So let's go ahead and talk costumes. Witch, you could dress up as a Lolita witch. And the best thing about this is that although you could wear all black, you don't have to just wear all black. You could be a white witch, you could be a bubblegum pink witch. Be decked out in pastels and stars with a pink cauldron, and it'll be awesome. When I was a kid, dead brides were really in for some reason. You could do that too. This is something you could get really creative with if you have either a white dress an ivory dress, a black dress with a veil. Like, makeup is really going to be your friend in this case. You don't even have to be a dead bride. You could just be a regular bride, because why not? Do you have anything that's old school and red? Because Little Red Riding Hood. I don't know why, but I love the idea of like Little Red Riding Hood next to an aristocratic big bad wolf. But speaking of red dresses, this brings me to one of my favorite pieces that I have, my magical etoile, which is what? Circus theme. And there are surprisingly quite a few circus themed dresses in Lolita. So you could totally be just like a ringleader or someone who hands out balloons or something. Or a clown. You could do the full clown look. And it doesn't have to be cute. You can make it cute, but you can also make it really scary. You could do a scary clown. I don't like clowns, so I wouldn't recommend this. But if you like scary clowns, that's great. Let's go ahead and talk basics. Princess. Now I know oftentimes kids may mistake us for princesses, but in this case, we can really make the most of some dresses. And if you want to get really specific, you could go into like Disney princesses. Like, I know there's been multiple Snow White releases, but you don't necessarily have to stick to those. Like, if you have anything at all that slightly resembles like Cinderella's dress or Belle's dress, I feel like there's just so many variations of this that you can do. It doesn't have to fit the picture perfect Disney aesthetic. You could just do you could base it off like the actual fairy tale and put your own spin on it. And I have seen it done before, and it's been beautiful every time. And speaking of Disney characters who are not princesses, Alice. How many Alice themed dresses are there? I have no idea. Too many for me to count. I can't even, a lot. But if you happen to have just a plain blue dress and a white apron, that's really all you need. Now, one of my favorite themes is Marie Antoinette. If you have any Rococo themed style dress, it's probably inevitable that you will not at some point attempt to do like a very Marie Antoinette inspired thing. And I love it because it's like, sometimes there'll be wigs, but other times it'll be like full natural hair done up, and it's like, how much time did that take? Like, it's just so perfect. Like, if you're really into history, I think it'll be super fun. I know that this style in particular is a little bit easier to pull off with Lolita, although I have seen some Lolita dresses that are more inspired with like the Regency era. I want to say that I'm fairly certain that I have seen dresses based off of like Emma or something Jane Austen. And I could be misremembering, but I remember seeing like Gone with the Wind inspired dresses as well. Trying my hardest to try and find pictures. But if these are time periods that you're not really into, you're really into say more like cottage look and stuff, Little House on the Prairie was a very big thing. And I know there's a couple Taobao shops in particular who are really good about like this whole kind of cottage garden aesthetic, which I think would look really good. You know, like Laura Ingalls and stuff. But let's go ahead and take a moment to go back to creatures that don't exist, like fairies. If you got a dress with like a lot of tulle, a lot of glitter, I think this would be a really great option. What's great is that fairies themselves are like pretty ranged. You got your basic fairies, then you got like tooth fairies, then you got fairy godmother like fairies, and then there's also what was that girl's name from the Nutcracker? Sugar Plum Fairy. Or you could take a more creepy approach to it. Do your makeup all scary and stuff. In some lores, fairies really actually aren't that cute. I feel like ghosts are also pretty open-ended. You could be a spooky ghost, or you could be a spooky ghost from like a certain time period. Again, going back to that whole Marie Antoinette, but like dead, haunting and stuff. Or you could do the traditional Japanese version of ghosts, which was very horrifying. Something else that I really love is angel and devil themes. I really like the whole angel theme though, because I feel like there's just a lot that you could do makeup wise. Like, everyone's concept of them is so different. And actually, you know, the same could be said for the whole devil theme too. It doesn't have to be just like all red and a pitchfork. Okay, let's talk about vampires, because I feel like most of us have probably dressed up as a vampire at some point in our lives. And I feel like if you're a gothic Lolita, this might actually be one of the easiest things to pull off. Like, all you really need is either fake blood or teeth. Ugh. Another thing that I think would be easy to incorporate for a gothic Lolita's wardrobe is like a tarot reader or palm reader or fortune teller of any sort. If you got a little crystal ball hanging around, I think that'd be pretty cool. I can see this being done with more like vibrant colors. But let me go ahead and refer back to Sweet for a moment. If you have honey cake or really any food themed dress, really all you need is just like an apron and a chef's hat. Bam! You just Lolita chef. Or if you have the right kind of dress, as well as if you are a collector of, you know, the Minnie Mouse headband ear thingies, it would be a great time to break them out and be Minnie Mouse. Something else that I think I'd really like to see is like an alien themed cord. And I don't actually really know how this would be done myself. I feel like you would have to incorporate regular clothing items, but they would have to be very futuristic. I'm thinking more iridescent materials and stuff, more metallics, really interesting hair concepts, as well as just the most fascinating makeup. I feel like this one would be a real toughie. So I'm going to take it a step back and simplify our next one, which is Pirate Lolita, which is already a thing. Though I think as the years have passed, I've probably seen Pirate Lolita go down in popularity. Like I definitely do still see it, just not as often. But let's go ahead and talk about majestic creatures really quick, like unicorns, dragons, mermaids. Now these things will require a little bit extra for sure in order to be recognized. Maybe you need to go buy a unicorn horn, or you can make one yourself. Dragon, I have absolutely zero idea how that could be done, but I would still love to see it attempted. And mermaid, I feel, would be a lot easier. There are at least mermaid themed dresses, and I feel there's like enough makeup styles that you could do, hairstyles, stuff like that, that it would work. But speaking of mermaids and sea creatures, you could just be a basic sailor. Is there a brand out there that has not at some point made some kind of sailor dress? I don't think so. I think it's a really safe last resort choice if you have absolutely nothing else. So in addition to all this, I do want to take a moment to narrow it down and talk about actual Halloween characters and pretty much making a Lolita cord out of a horror villain. And I think this is really great because all you need essentially is like a plain black Lolita dress, and then all you really have to do is pick up maybe like a cape or a mask, and you could be Ghostface or Michael Myers or Freddy Krueger, maybe Jigsaw, or we could track back to Clown and you could do your variation of it. What is his name? Pennywise, I think. I haven't watched it. I don't like clowns, so. And if you don't want to go this dark, but you still want to stick to like a movie theme, you could take it a few steps lighter, like Beetlejuice, or The Mummy, or Hocus Pocus. And then if you want to take it an extra step further and make it even more brighter, you know, you could do something like The Wizard of Oz. I feel like Dorothy really wouldn't be that hard to do. We already mentioned witches. I'd love to see something based off of Labyrinth. I'd love to do something based off Labyrinth, but I don't have anything that remotely resembles like these outfits. But I feel like they would be doable. Same with Willy Wonka. So I feel like I've mentioned enough things, and this video is going on for pretty much a little bit longer than I want it to, but I don't want to end it without mentioning Broken Doll, because the whole Broken Doll thing was so popular when I was a teen, and I thought it would drop off, but it didn't. It kept going. Now I might see less of it on YouTube, but when I look up like makeup on Instagram and stuff, there's still a whole bunch of Broken Doll looks out there being made to this day. And I feel like for a Lolita, it's like basic option number one. Like, it's relatively simple, but at the same time, there are so many different ways of achieving the kind of different look that you're going for, because everybody pretty much does it differently. Sometimes it's cuter, sometimes it's a little bit more creepier, sometimes you try and go for a really sad look. But if you want to skip all of that altogether and go for like a literal creepy doll look, you could just be Annabelle. Now, if Halloween happens to fall on a day in which you are working, or for some reason you're gonna end up coming home late at night and you're not gonna wanna bother dressing up or anything, the actual last resort option, which is totally acceptable, is to wear just a Lolita Halloween themed dress, which we got plenty of doesn't have to be a theme. You are just walking Halloween funness. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end this with saying that, again, I love taking my normal wardrobe and trying to put together as many costumes as I possibly can. And I just don't see why I can't do the same with my Lolita wardrobe. More options, more creativity, more better. At the end of the day, it should just be having a good time and really not taking it so seriously. But if you disagree, that is entirely a-okay, and I respect your opinion, I do. But I'm gonna go ahead and go now, so thanks for watching if you watched, and I will see you next time. Bye!